Hey guys, Avoid here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batman Arkham Origins Deathstroke. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, as I said before, today we're taking a look at Deathstroke as he appeared in the Batman Arkham Origins game, I believe. He is part of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, and let me tell you what, this is one of the figures I was most looking forward to. Does he hold up to my semi-high expectations? For the most part, yes, I'm not gonna lie. He is pretty awesome, but I think he's a little bit lacking in the accessories department, but we'll talk about that a little later. So, starting with aesthetics and articulation as always, looks awesome. I mean, it looks like Deathstroke from that game. There's a lot of nice paint on it, especially the helmet. The helmet's freaking awesome. I will say, I think this is a little bit better than the DC Collectibles one. Yeah, that one has more accessories, but you can pose this one and not shatter it to pieces. So that's nice. I will say, it is a shame that his gun is permanently attached to his hip. That sucks. I wish that came out. That would have made him just a little bit better. And I will say his scabbard is a pain in the balls. It likes to come unpegged and slide out. I may have that glued in, I'm not sure. But that could have been implemented into the figure a little bit better, I think. But other than that, the aesthetics of this guy are pretty solid. I really like him. So articulation, his head can rotate side to side. He's got a little bit of attitude, some tilt in there. He can look up. Good enough, I think. Down, good enough. Shoulders go out to the side pretty far for having those shoulder pads. He does have the McFarlane style butterfly thingamajig going on, so that's nice. Just for some adjustment posing, you can shift it up and down a little bit too. It's got a bicep swivel. The shoulder pads are connected to the biceps, so you can rotate the arm and the shoulder pads will move with it. That's cool. That's exactly what you want when it comes to shoulder pads like his. Double jointed elbow. Not the cleanest looking thing, but it is super duper functional. Look at that. Yeah, maybe it is. It actually doesn't look too horrible. They've definitely had worse elbow joints in this line. But just a little bit on the blocky side. A little bit. But he can, of course, you know what, punch himself in his own face! So that's cool. Wrists are weird. They hinge up and down. And they swivel where the wrists peg in, the hands peg in. But not where the wrist joint pegs in. It's like it's stuck, or there's not enough clearance here to allow it to move. But both hands do hinge upside down by default. So if that's not that big a deal to you, then this is fine. You don't need to mess with it. But if you want his hand to bend inward, I guess maybe heat it up, pop it out, and flip it around. I have no idea why the base joint of these ball hinges do not rotate. There's nothing really feasible to explain why, but maybe it's just hindered by his armor. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm going to say. His waist is on a clicky joint, and he can also tilt side to side, as well as crunch a little bit. Can't crunch a ton, but he can crunch a little bit. About that far. Not bad for having all the armor. Crunch back a little bit too. And then, of course, the tilt. works fine. I'm not sure what kind of joint this is. It feels like it's all down here. So that's kind of interesting. His hips can kick out to the side. Okay. Not great, but again, he's got a lot of armor going on. No real thigh cut to speak of. Can kick forward and back. Double joint at the knee. I will say the knees on this guy are pretty stiff too, so hold on. Yeah, that's probably as far as they're going to go. Can't kick his own ass, but probably doesn't need to. His feet will also rotate. They got the rocker, they got the hinge, they got the toe hinge. Which on this guy is nice and tight, at least on that side. What about this side? Yeah. Pretty tight on both sides, and then peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So not too shabby for an armored guy. Not the best, but again, lots of armor. Lots and lots of cool armor that's really well painted, I think. At least on mine. Yours may differ. But with that being said, time to move on to the accessories. Don't get your hopes up, though. Moving on to the accessories, and unfortunately, Deathstroke does not come with a lot. And for a character like Deathstroke, that kind of sucks. Would have been nice to see some guns, or his bow staff, or anything else. But, I digress. Comes with, if I can pick it up here, the standard DC Multiverse base with the little peg and the unseeable DC logo, at least by yours truly. Comes with the collectible trading card. Some nice artwork of Deathstroke as he appeared in the Arkham Origins game, I believe. It says Deathstroke down there. On the back, you got a bio. Pause and read that if you can, that is. I'm not sure if my camera focuses enough for you guys to read those or not. But long story short, Deathstroke was I want to say Vietnam vet who signed up for the Super Soldier program. Thus, he has enhanced abilities and is a constant pain in the ass for the Teen Titans. That's the basic rundown, but I could be wrong. That's what I know anyways. Which ain't much. But his only true accessory here is his sword. Has a nice silver blade. Dull silver, but silver. Black handle. Bring Deathstroke in here. He's got the scabbard on his back. You can take the sword and sheath it in there. I will say, though, this is not the best scabbard. Lifting his arm up, you can see the blade is exposed. If I can get it pushed in all the way. There we go. The blade is exposed on the one side and doesn't really fit in the scabbard. I think the scabbard's a little small for this figure. I feel like this little piece here should be in the scabbard as well. So it's a little small and it's a little bit too flat. But it looks okay. It's not bad. I might just display him holding his sword. I'm not sure yet. But with that being said, let's take a look at some size comparisons. Taking a look at some size comparisons, here's Deathstroke next to a couple other DC Multiverse figures. Got Nightwing on the left and the Target exclusive Flashpoint Batman on the right. Up next, here he is next to a couple of different style Batmen. Got the Murder Machine on the left and the Grim Knight on the right. And last but certainly not least, got our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus on the left and the Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn on the right. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I still really like this figure, I gotta say the sheer lack of accessories, especially for a character like Deathstroke, is my biggest knock against this figure. Top that off with the fact that the pistol cannot come out of the holster on his leg, and the sword scabbard set up on his back is questionable at best. This is still, I think, one of my favorite DC Multiverse figures from 2020 and will definitely make an appearance in that video. That's right. I'm going to do another 2020 top 10 in 2021. What you going to do about it? But with that being said, I will say this is probably one of the best Deathstroke figures I have, second to the DC Classics one from Mattel from, almost 10 years ago now. Probably over 10 years. Shout out to T-Biz for the hookup on that one. But I will also say it is a little bit better than its predecessor done by DC Collectibles. That's a nice figure, but the quality of the plastic and the construction of the figure is questionable at best. This one, I don't really have any of those problems with. So, I guess get the DC Collectibles one for the accessories, and this one for the really solid overall sturdiness of the actual figure itself. But for 20 bucks, again, I would have to give it a recommend anyways. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. As well as leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this figure. Have you picked this guy up yet? He's kind of just starting to hit a little bit more so now than he did last year. He was out last year, but he was few and far between. Now they seem to be getting 4 per store whenever people come across him. I still would like to get the Arkham Origins Batman to go with this guy, so maybe stay tuned to that review in the next couple of weeks or so. But as always, remember to keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.